Hi everyone, this is Eileen from Worldwide Dolls, and today I'm going to be doing a video of all of my dolls. I have 14, one who has not been finished yet and you have not met yet, which is very exciting. And I just want to give you a little bit of background information. All my dolls live on an island in my state, which is Michigan, called Mackinac Island, which is just how I developed their characters a long time ago. And you can read a lot about them on my blog, which is in the description, and it includes a map and a huge page with a lot more information than it's going to be in this video, which is just a Meet the Girls page, and there's like a lot more information about each doll than I'm going to talk about here. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. The first doll that I ever got was Krsten Larson, and a little bit about her. She is 15 years old and she likes science and computers. She also likes to swim and do water sports such as boating and jet skiing. Someday she would like to be a boat captain or a scientist when she gets older. Someday she would like to visit Norway, which is a country she's always been interested in. Her favorite color is blue, and she likes to dress very preppy or sometimes beachy as she's dressed now. Her personality is quirky and a little bit bossy, but her close friends know that she is always loyal and caring. She is a fourth Norwegian and a fourth German from her mom and half Swedish from her dad. She's from the outskirts of Stockholm, which is the largest city in Sweden, where she lived with her parents until she was 5, as well as with her brothers and her sister, as well as her cat. Her immediate family lives on the island, which they all live on an island, as I've mentioned. And she goes back to Sweden each summer to visit her grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins, as well as her best friend, Maja. Her father's brother lives in Brazil, as do Kirsten's aunt and 3 cousins, Gabriella, Paolo, and Camilla. Her oldest cousin on this side of the family, the Brazilian side of the family, is Maja, and she currently lives with Krsten on the island. Her family owns a sailboat called the Lady Caroline. She lives at the end of Huron Road on my map of the island, which I will link down below, and her birthday is on June 8th. Her favorite song is Home by Gabrielle Aplin. She's a Ravenclaw and an Enneagram Type 1, which is the Reformer. I got Krsten from my parents when I was about 5, I believe, 4 or 5, and I got her before she was retired. My second doll was Nikki, and she was the Girl of the Year in 2007, which is also when I got her, and my parents got her in Chicago when they went there on their anniversary trip. Her name is Nikki Mae Sherman, and she is the youngest doll in my doll world. She's 11, and she collects toys like My Little Pony and Disney princesses. Someday she would like to be a ballerina, and she takes ballet lessons from Marlee, who will be introduced later. Her dream is to dance on Broadway. She likes pink and purple and is sweet and talented. She models, dances, and loves to sing. She also has a horse called Jackson. She lives with her aunt and her cousins Piper, Delia, Callie, and Nira. Her favorite food is funfetti cupcakes. She lives close to Krsten, and her birthday is on January 7th. She is a Hufflepuff and an Enneagram Type 2, the Helper. She is a Girl of the Year 2007 Nikki doll, which I've already mentioned. Nikki also went to the doll hospital about 6 months ago, which is why she looks brand new. I haven't really taken pictures with her or done anything with her since, so she still looks just like she did. Cecile was my third doll, and I didn't get her until 2012, 5 years after I got my previous doll, Nikki. I got her from my mom for Christmas, and she actually got her on the $50 sale from Jill's Steals and Deals, which was before Christmas that year in 2012. Funny story, she actually got a Marie Grace doll, and then after I had mentioned that Cecile was the doll that I really wanted, so she traded her with someone who had gotten a Marie Grace, since the Marie Grace is actually sold out first. So, Cecile Ray Noel is 13 years old, and she loves animals and writing fairy tale stories. Someday she wants to be a writer or a veterinarian. Her dream is to meet a real writer of one of the fairy tale stories that she loves to read. She swears that she has seen fairies in the woods, but only her friend Piper believes her. Her favorite color is green. She's quiet most of the time, but isn't afraid to speak her mind or stand up for herself and others. Her parents are from different parts of Africa, but she grew up in St. Ignace, which is a city off the island, and she moved to the island when she was 10. Her family includes her older sister, Nadria, who is now in college off the island, and her parents, as well as 2 dogs named Sprocket and Meatloaf. Cecile's family is friends with Piper's family, and the 2 are best friends. She lives on Huron Road near Church Street, and her birthday is May 28th. Her parents own the Pink Pony Bar and Grill on the lakeside. She is a Ravenclaw and an Enneagram Type 9, which is the Peacemaker. One thing that I do want to say about my Cecile doll is that her right eye is a little bit messed up, and her hair is not quite as curly as it was when I got her, but we love her anyway. My fourth doll is Violet Sophia Montello, and she is just like you, or My American Girl, number 42 with number 62's wig, which is shorter than her original one. She is 13 years old, and she loves traveling, art, gymnastics, rock climbing, and hanging out with her friends. Violet would like to be a professional rock climber or an artist someday. Her dream is to travel around the world. She likes orange best, but there isn't a color in the rainbow that she doesn't like. She isn't shy, but she isn't loud either. She's very outgoing, though, and likes thinking up creative solutions for problems. She was born in France and grew up in Italy. She is fraternal twins with Madelynne and is the youngest by 3 minutes and 14 seconds. She lives on Tuscot Street behind a butterfly house, and her birthday is July 19th. Violet is best friends with Nikki, and she is a Hufflepuff and an Enneagram Type 5, the investigator. I picked out Violet myself at American Girl Place Chicago in 2013, I believe. It was a few years after I got Cecile. My fifth doll is Zyra, and she is an Ivy doll with freckles. Soon she will also be getting hazel eyes, hopefully, as soon as I can find some to give her. She is 13 years old, and she likes traveling, the ocean, and doing large-scale and mixed media art. She is the original author of my doll blog, which is always linked below, and someday she would like to be a clothing designer or an artist of some kind. Her biggest wish is to live in Disney World, which she unfortunately knows is not likely to happen. Her favorite colors are mint, coral, and yellow. She is outgoing and creative, and she loves to be in nature and explore. She's from Japan, but she grew up on the island, and she enjoys spending time with her friends. Zyra also likes visiting her home country with her parents for New Year and Hanami, which is the Cherry Blossom Festival. Zyra lives on Cadet Avenue, and her birthday is February 28th. She attends the Little Stone Church with her family every Sunday. She is a Gryffindor and an Enneagram Type 2, the Helper. I picked out Zyra myself right before she retired, which I believe was in 2014, at American Girl Place Chicago. My probably most well-known doll, on this platform at least, is Venus, and she is a Caroline doll with freckles, repainted lips, and a wig from Beautifully Custom, although she has had several wigs in the past, as some of you may know. Her name is Venus Amelia May Carter, and she's Zyra's best friend in the whole world, and the two are rarely found apart. She loves photography, and she does a lot of it for the blog, which I talked about earlier. She also likes to model, and when the other girls are busy, she does that as well. She likes pop-punk style music, and is never found without her red lipstick. That's because it's in Sharpie. And she would like to become a professional photographer someday, and she always has her camera with her, except not right now. She is originally from Larson, which is a city in Greece, and she moved to New York City when she was only a year old, where she lived until her parents moved to Chicago when she was 4, and then to the island when she was 7. Venus loves to travel, and especially travel to cities. She lives on 3rd Street, which is just around the corner from Zyra, and her birthday, is on October 22nd. Her favorite band is the rock band Paramore, and she is a Slytherin and an Enneagram Type 4, which is the Individualists. I bought Venus as a Caroline doll right before Caroline was about to be retired, 2015 maybe 2016, and I got her with the intent of customizing her to have brown hair, and then for a while she had black hair, and at one point she had purple hair or something, and now she has this lovely wig, which she will be keeping for the rest of her little dolly life. Piper was actually, I believe, my 4th doll, because I got her after Violet, but I'm including her here in my list of dolls because she was Sage up until she was my 7th doll, which is now. She got her hair cut, and she has different eyes, which are really just colored eyes that I did myself, and now her name is Piper. Piper Jane Merriman. She is 14 years old, and she loves everything to do with magic, including fairies, dragons, princesses, elves, and anything else you can think of. She also likes quests and adventures, and she likes to do those on her own. She would someday like to live in a treehouse in the mountains. She's loud and outgoing and very practical, despite her unpractical love of magic. She grew up in Dublin, Ireland, and she moved to the island when she was 7. She lives on Potawatomi Road, which is close to Krsten, and her birthday is on October 8th. Her father died in a shipwreck when she was 6, and her mother tells her that he is where most of her adventurous spirit comes from. She has a sister named Felicity, who is away at college. She used to be a doll I had, actually, and I sold her. And she has a cousin, Nikki, who lives with her. She also has adopted twin sisters, Kali and Naira, who I've mentioned before. They're Hearts for Hearts dolls. as well as a blood-related little sister, Delia, who is also a Hearts for Hearts dolls. All three of them are 9. She has dyslexia, but she makes up for it her difficulty reading with her enthusiasm for hands-on science, like chemistry. Someday she would like to be a marine biologist because she loves the water. And she is a Gryffindor and an Enneagram Type 8, which is the Challenger. She's best friends with Cecile, which I mentioned before. Besides having a cut wig, Piper also has freckles. And this light that I'm using is making all my dolls' faces look super shiny, so I'm really sorry for that. This is Madelynne. She was my 8th doll, and I bought her just a few days after she came out in Chicago because I happened to be there then. Her name is Madelynne Hailey Montello, and she is 13, and she loves nature, music, adventures, and occasionally persuading her friends to skip school on a bright spring day in favor of exploring the woods and climbing some rock formations. Maddie is Violet's fraternal twin sister, and she was born in France but grew up in Italy. She can be very stubborn and is protective of the wildlife on the island. She someday hopes to work there as a forest ranger in the state park. Madelynne is a Slytherin and an Enneagram Type 3, the Achiever. She lives on Tuscot Street behind the Butterfly House, of course with their sister Violet, and her birthday is July 19th. Madelynne has Violet's old wig, which is number 42. I basically switched their wigs so they would have something different about them. And other than that, she is just the same doll as she was, number 62. This is Marley, and unfortunately her glasses are making a huge glare on her face right now, so I'm just going to take those off because I can't really figure out how to adjust it better. She is a Marie Grace doll, and her name is Marlee Ivana Grace Ellis, and she is currently staying with her parents who have always lived here on the island. She previously lived with her aunt and uncle in New York City and attended an art school where she trained to be a ballet dancer. Now she teaches Nikki and a few other younger girls ballet on Saturday morning in her home studio with the help of her adopted sister, Lila. Marlee enjoys fashion and vintage Victorian clothes. She also likes makeup, Disney, the colors gold and pink, and Polaroid pictures. She is best friends with Claudia. Marlee lives on the West Bluff by the Grand Hotel on Lakeview Boulevard, and her birthday is March 3rd. She is a Hufflepuff and an Enneagram Type 6, the Loyalist. She is a Marine Grace doll with a frosted blonde ruby red Galleria wig and freckles. The wig I bought specifically for her, and I bought Marlee off eBay sometime in 2016. This is Maja, and I got her in 2016 in September, I believe. Her name is Maja Florence Larson, and she is a Girl of the Year Leah Clark doll from 2016, as I said. She's Krsten's cousin, and she grew up in Brazil. She's half Swedish and half Brazilian, and she speaks both Portuguese and English. She's 15, and she lived in Brazil until she was 14, and the rest of her family still lives there, so she makes frequent trips back to visit her parents and her younger sisters, Gabriela, Paolo, and Camila. Maja grew up immersed in Brazilian culture, obviously because she lives there, and she enjoys going to Rio de Janeiro each year for Carnival with her siblings, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Her favorite food is breija do Rio, which is a popular Brazilian treat. She likes fashion, parties, and adventure, and she isn't afraid to do anything, but doesn't see why she shouldn't look really good while doing it. Her favorite color is purple, and she loves glitter, cacti, journals, poetry, and crystals. She lives with Krsten, her cousin, on the end of Huron Road, and her birthday is August 14th. She is a Ravenclaw and an Enneagram Type 3, the Achiever. The only thing different or customized about Maja is that she has a nose piercing, which you can't really see, but it's just a ring that I've threaded through her nose with a needle. I'm actually doing these next dolls out of order because I got her all set up and then realized they were out of order. So this is Claudia, and her name is Claudia Bronwyn Kishi. She's named after the Babysitters Club character, minus her middle name. And she is just like you, number 4, who I looked forever for and finally found her in almost perfect condition, and I bought her from a lovely lady on American Girl Playthings. She is a doll that I've wanted for like 4 or 5 years before I finally found the perfect one that's Montello and in really good condition. She's 16 years old, and she is called Claude by just about everyone, or Claudie by her parents and her grandmother. She grew up in Marquette, which is a town in the far north of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. In January of 2017, she moved to the island after, by sheer luck, both her mother and her father were able to be hired at the island school. Also accompanying them was Claudia's grandmother, Antonia, who immigrated from Cuba just before the trade embargo was placed in 1962. She plans to spend the summer in Cuba with her family and relatives she has never gotten a chance to meet because of this embargo, which was recently lifted. Claudia, however, is not biologically related to her grandmother as well as her mother. She is the daughter of her father and her birth mother, which was, like her father, a Chinese-American individual who passed away shortly after Claudia was born. Her birth mother and her father were never married, and when Claudia was 2, her stepmother and her father were married. They had dated way back in high school. Claudia loves art, and every piece of clothing she owned is covered in paint splatters. She can be messy and a daydreamer, and she's not very good at schoolwork, but her creativity more than makes up for it. Claudia likes every color in the rainbow. She has already been scheduled to have her art featured in the Grand Hotel's Gallery, which is a hotel on the island, as part of a show in August of 2017. In addition, Claudia also likes fashion from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. She's best friends with Lila and Georgia and also Violet. She lives on Main Street. She's an Enneagram Type 4, the individualist. She is a Hufflepuff, and her birthday is January 20th. Next, we have Lila, who is number 58, not customized or anything. And she was actually supposed to be my 12th, 11th doll, not Claudia, but I've switched them, sorry. Her name is Lila Adele Ellis, and she is Marley's adopted little sister, and she's 14 years old. She attended an art school in New York City until the fall of 2016, where she trained to become an aerial and trapeze artist, like you'd find in a circus. Lila's favorite color is yellow, and her favorite flower is a daisy. She loves to explore and adventure with her friends, and she is known among the group for her upbeat personality and for being very optimistic. Her Hogwarts house is Gryffindor, and she is an Enneagram Type 7, the enthusiast. Her favorite food is sugar cookies, and she loves performing. She's even been part of a circus. I bought Lila in the pop-up store in American Girl Place, Detroit, when Melody was released in late 2016. Was that this year? Might have been 2017, whenever Melody came out, and I had wanted her for a long time, but instead I bought Violet and kind of forgot that I'd wanted this doll until I saw her a few weeks leading up to going to that store, so I'm really happy that I have her now. My 13th doll and the last doll that you all have previously been introduced to is Georgia, and she is number 61, who I got in Chicago in the spring of 2017. Her name is Georgia Ashling McKenzie, and she is 15 years old. She's known to her parents and her close friends as Georgie or Gigi. She likes to write songs and play guitar and make music. She likes to write her own songs, especially. I think I said that. And someday she wants to release an album and be a real-life singer. She enjoys learning about Irish culture, and someday she hopes to visit Ireland, where her family is from, to visit her extended family. She's best friends with Lila, Claudia, Maja, and Marley, and her favorite color is green. She likes fashion, swimming, boating, and playing volleyball. Her birthday is May 23rd, and she lives above Cattywampus on Main Street, which is an artsy store that her parents own. Since November of 2017, that is wrong. That's supposed to be November 2016. And she is a Gryffindor and an Enneagram Type 7, the enthusiast. And she has light freckles all over her face, which you can't really see now, but they're just done in watercolor. My 14th doll is one that I almost did not include in this video, actually. She is a Samantha doll that I bought for $20. If you've seen my previous video, you know the story behind how I got her. And she is being customized into a Russian girl, that's her, ethnicity within the other dolls. And her name is going to be Natalia Veronica. And I don't really know much about her other than that yet. She hasn't told me much. So she's being customized to have a long, wavy, parting wig from Movie Red Galleria in brunette. I'll show you right now. It's this one. It's really messy because I haven't brushed it. But it's close to original hair color, and I'm going to be redoing her face and her lips and cleaning her because she's pretty dirty right now. And she's getting new eyebrows. So that's all going to be done soon, and there will be a huge video with that and the customizing of 2 other dolls, which belong to my friends, soon. And that's pretty much it, so I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.